Log recording. It is January 3rd, 2022, and it's about 15 after 11 in the morning on West Coast. I didn't think that one particular video that I was going to be putting out there was going to be that much. Okay, I'm still waiting for the. Hang on a second, will you? Well, it seems YouTube and I are having issues again. Sending a letter over to Tony Barnett, who does the Lida, Loca cruising. Travel agency. On YouTube, he does the travel show for all the cruising information. He had been telling people regarding the stigma that's being attached to cruising because of certain crazy media folk and politicians out there who are playing head games with an industry that affects millions of people, if not thousands of them, who depend upon jobs relating directly and indirectly to the cruising industry. And most of the activities usually on the East Coast, especially around the islands. Because of the biological nature that we've got going and the current warfare happening, a lot of companies had to restructure themselves to make Uncle Sam happy and his restless minions, and if not them, also certain media outfits who seem to be having a little bit of an issue. Now, locally out here, if anything's happening nationally on the East Coast concerning about the ships, we'll hear something of it, but they don't make it a big deal about it over here, not until we get the West Coast operations going. And if there had been problems concerning about some of the West Coast ships that we've had, they would also jump on those kind of news stories, especially the local ones like Los Angeles and San Diego, basically. I could bring up the past concerning about certain situations. I'm not going to do that, because I already know about the past information that can already harm the industry enough. And they've done enough damage as it is back then. But these days, since we've got the biological nightmare torturing people left and right, and not to mention politicians, hospitalizations, and oh good Lord, our whole way of life. This particular gentleman wanted a positive letter to be sent, and I'm sending it. I just got to get a process through the studio, YouTube, then send him the link. It's going to take him time for this one. But I'm also going to send this one over to him as well, just to let him know too. Because yes, I like to go back out there again. And I'll tell you something, I'm still having emotional mixed feelings about this one. If I could address this to Tony directly, and that's what I probably would, because I tell him that even if I happen to go back on one more cruise at this point over here, I think it would be my last. Having got special time with my brother, just 3 days out there, I was trying to understand more and more about the isolation my brother felt when he was in the Navy. How lonely he was, despite the fact he was surrounded by bodies. That at certain times you can look out in the ocean and feel how alone you really were. Despite the fact you may have had a few people you could trust. And he'd already been used to King Neptune's realm, tossing ships back and forth, rocking them left and right, spinning them on their tails if they have to. My brother had been through a hell of a lot. It's like I was talking to Popeye. Except he didn't do the go. He didn't exactly have the bulgy arms either. But he did have tattoos. What makes it hard? What makes it special? What makes it emotional? And I'm feeling it again. The other one I tried to keep a nice positive attitude in that one, just for what he required and what he needed help with. But this particular log, my friend, this is the opposite end of it. And I wish I could go back on the water again to have a commemoration, memorializing, honoring. My brother had been fit, but he didn't even bother to rate burial at sea. Burial at land, yeah, at best. But all the stuff my brother had been through, and some of the honors taken away because of certain mistakes made, didn't exactly put him on the top of the list regarding how he should be handled, alive or dead. While he was alive and Dave and I went out, it was the best time to be with his brother. I don't know, Tony, if you actually had a big brother or a big sister that you had that close relationship with. Me and my brother, we watched each other's backs. We enjoyed each other's company, even on the ship, watching each other's back. It was the most memorable, special time for both of us. I was envious about my mom having 10 days out there at sea. It wasn't the food, it was the adventure. It always was, Tony. It just, you had to hear the silence. You had to hear the call. You had to hear his horn. They're all too much in their own little world to party hardy in the ships. That was like those cattle calls. It was like, early in the morning, you're at the bow, or close to it. The deck right above Windjammer Cafe. I'm sitting on top of that. Watching as the ship's creeping towards us. My God, we're talking about emotion. We're talking about taking your breath away. The first time in my life, I felt one with the ship and one with the water. I wish my brother had felt the same way, but he had been out there. If I happen to go once more, I would hope and pray that somehow it would rise into his spirit. Oh, part of it was in Texas. He was born in Texas, literally. His father was Texan. Ma wasn't. She was either... Where is it out there? I don't know. No, I take that back. Pueblo. Ma was born in Pueblo, Colorado. fun in the water. They went shopping, they went sightseeing, but they were part of a tour group. They enjoyed the fancy food. I did have one particular drawback on monarch season. They didn't know how to make a salad. I asked for salad, and what did I get? A frickin' check of wedge lettuce. Iceberg. I'm like, no dressing. No extra stuff to go with this damn thing? Just this? Oh, man, I was the only time I wanted to yell and scream at an the waiter at this point over here for screwing up my damn order. You don't mess around with a guy's salad. Yeah. I'm talking about stuff that I've been with my brother. Sometimes it helps, and sometimes it just reminds me of how much I miss him. How much I have gone through with him. Yet, I'll never see him again in this lifetime. It's almost as bad enough, Tony, is when you happen to go to Disneyland, or in your case, Disney World, but I've never been there in the first place, so I'll use West Coast, Disneyland. My mother and my brother and I had been there a few times. Very special times. And then for several years running, we celebrated New Year's Eve. Together. He was a hell of a guy, Tony. You would have liked him. You would have liked you too. Anyway. Sorry I kind of depressed you a little bit here, pal. Eventually I'll make my way out to the East Coast. These days I'm still trying to take care of my own head. I hope to get on the ship and I hope to sail on the West Coast. If I could, 2 places I'd love to see. Alaska, Hawaii, that's it. Everywhere else, forget it. Or maybe up and down the coast of America all the way through Canada. I would do so. But definitely not south, unfortunately. I guess that's about it. And if I don't get off of this thing pretty shortly, I know what I'm going to be doing at this point over here, and that's not viewable for public at this point. Take care, my friend.